What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled 100 Years of Wild West History in 11 Minutes. I freaking love these animated history videos, so without further ado, let's see what this video is about.
In 1803, the United States bought 827,000 square miles of land for just $15 million. Land that today would be worth around $16 trillion. In reality, no one knew what they just stepped into. That gamble would explode into gold rushes, violence, outlaws, and chaos. The Wild West. And it all began with one decision made by the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. He needed answers fast.
I've always thought about the fact, of time traveling. I've told you guys many times that, what if you could bring someone from the past to, this era and, see what the world is like? But imagine you could go to the past and actually be content. And with the money you have now, we would all be millionaires. In that era? Ooh.
So he hired two guys to walk across the entire continent and map everything. Their names were Lewis and Clark, and they were both army captains. They headed west in 1804 with one mission: figure out what America just bought and somehow not die trying. They took a Native American woman called Sacagawea. She guided them through lands her people had lived in for thousands of years. We're supposed to walk to the Pacific Ocean? Through completely unknown territory. With no backup? Pretty much. And if we get lost? You guys realize I actually know where we're going, right? 2 years later...
How can she know, the whole America, though? That's impossible. Yeah, the West, but, these states are bigger than, European countries. There is no way that you can memorize, the whole way. Makes no sense.
Lewis and Clark made it back alive with incredible news. The land was packed with rivers, mountains, and endless forests. Plus, millions of Native Americans already called it home. But here's where things got interesting. Lewis and Clark told everyone about all the animals out west. Tons of beavers, and beaver fur was super valuable back then. People paid big money for beaver hats. So, mountain men, crazy wilderness explorers who hunted animals, followed Lewis and Clark's route into the unknown. These fur trappers lived like wild hermits, hunting beavers and selling their pelts to make a fortune. Other people found out about this and wanted to make their fortune too, so families started loading up covered wagons and heading west on the Oregon Trail. A 2,000-mile journey that took 6 months and was super dangerous. But little did they know, they were about to find something far more valuable than beaver fur.
Gold?
Within months, America went absolutely bonkers. It all started in 1848 when a carpenter called James Marshall spotted something shiny in a river.
And why is gold expensive? Why is gold, what makes it a expensive material? Why can't we just be okay, I don't know, leaves are expensive? Is it because it's rare, or?
When he bent down to pick it up, he realized what it was. It was gold. He tried keeping it a secret, but word leaked out faster than water through a broken dam. The biggest migration in American history had just begun. Lots of people wanted to find their own gold, and a little village called San Francisco exploded from 500 people to almost 100,000 in just 5 years. Ships arrived so fast that captains abandoned them in the harbor and ran off to dig for gold. The bay filled with empty ghost ships. Meanwhile, check out this map. America kept getting bigger. The Mexican-American War ended in 1848, and suddenly the United States owned California, Nevada, Utah, and chunks of other future states. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, a peace deal between America and Mexico, made it official. So there's gold just lying around in California streams? Nuggets the size of chicken eggs. How do we get there? Ship around South America. 6 months. Or walk across the desert. 4 months if we don't die. About 300,000 people raced to California chasing gold fever. Entire towns emptied out. Doctors left their patients, families sold everything they owned. Then came the speed revolution, the Pony Express, a mail
What do you like? How do you even? Do you just find the gold in the water and you just take it and then sell it, or like how does this work?
delivery system using horses, and riders could carry letters from Missouri to California in just 10 days. 10 days! That was like magic compared to the months it used to take. Next,
Oh my goodness, I just remembered that I used to live in the era when you would still post cards to your family and stuff, because you couldn't really like, there was no gifts, none of that. And it would take like 5 days till the postcard gets to them, and then you'd wait. That's crazy.
telegraph wires started stretching across the continent. These were special metal wires that could send messages using electricity. Now people could send messages in seconds. Then railroad crews began hammering tracks, racing to connect the coasts. By 1869, they met in the middle and hammered a golden spike, a special nail made of gold, to celebrate joining the railroad. A journey that once took 6 months of walking would become a comfortable week-long train ride. But all this progress came with tragedy. Native American tribes watched millions of strangers flood into their ancient homelands. Buffalo herds that had roamed for thousands of years suddenly faced organized slaughter. Then came the Cowboys and the outlaws. Railroads were spreading
Now we're talking about the Wild West, okay?
everywhere, and someone figured out how to turn smelly Texas cows into mountains of cash. Cowboys weren't fancy gunslingers like you see in the movies. They were regular guys who got paid to move huge herds of cattle, that's just another word for cows, across hundreds of miles of dangerous land. Their job was to keep the animals alive and get them to the railroad so they could be shipped across the country. After the Civil War, a big war between northern and southern American states, beef prices went
I will still imagine cowboys like in the movies. Can't take that away from me.
crazy. A cow worth $20 in Texas could sell for $200 up north in Chicago. Somebody had to get those cows there. So cowboys loaded up herds of 2,000 cattle and started the longest, most dangerous road trips in history. They followed routes like the Chisholm Trail, a 800-mile path from Texas to Kansas where the railroads waited. Imagine babysitting 2,000 stubborn cows for 3 months straight. One lightning strike could spook them
Honestly, my dream.
into a stampede that killed everyone. River crossings meant some cows might drown, and the whole time you're sleeping on dirt and eating beans. How long till we reach the railroad? 3 more months? If we're lucky. What if the cows stampede? Hope your horse is faster. I should have stayed on the farm. Meanwhile, outlaws were having a blast robbing everything. Jesse James and his gang knocked over banks like they were toy stores. Billy the Kid, a gunfighter, racked up a huge body count before he turned 21. The Dalton brothers tried
What?
robbing 2 banks in the same town at the same time. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Lawmen like Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday chased these bad guys across the West. They became famous not because they were heroes, but because they survived when everyone else died. Towns blew up overnight wherever cattle drives met railroad tracks.
That's crazy. That sounds like from a movie.
Looky here at this map. Abilene, Dodge City, and Tombstone went from empty prairie to wild boom towns in a single season. Saloons and gambling halls sprang up everywhere. And with all this super fast expansion, the railroads became targets for outlaws. Trains were carrying millions of dollars in gold and cash across the Wild West, with almost no security. It was mad. In 1873, Jesse James pulled off the first train robbery in American history. He walked away with $3,000. That's like stealing $100,000 today.
I mean, Jesse honestly he looks like a criminal. I don't know, he just has the face for it.
Every outlaw in the West suddenly had the same idea. The most successful train robbers were Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Their real names were Robert Parker and Harry Longabout, but nobody remembers that. They led a gang called the Wild Bunch and became legends. Check out the map. See all these train routes crossing the West? each line was a potential gold mine for outlaws. Butch and his gang hit trains across Wyoming, Montana, and Utah. Here's how they did it. The outlaws would block the tracks with logs or rocks. When the train stopped, they'd climb aboard waving guns. Then they had fun blowing open the safes with dynamite.
How much dynamite should we use?
Just a little. We want to open the safe, not blow up the train.
Got it. A little dynamite.
I said a little!
That was a little!
Sometimes they used a little too much dynamite and money went flying all over the place. Other times they'd threaten the engineer, the guy driving the train, until he opened everything. After grabbing the cash, they'd escape on horses waiting nearby. The gang would split up and meet later to divide the loot. But the Pinkerton Detective Agency, a private police force hired by the railroads, was hunting them down. Wanted posters offered huge rewards, $4,000 for Butch Cassidy,
Oh my god, they actually had the wanted, but that's so cool.
dead or alive. Train companies started adding guards, safes got tougher, and telegraph warnings spread faster than horses could run. The easy days were ending. Most famous train robbers ended up shot or captured, but Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid managed to escape to South America. To this day, people still don't know how they got away. Meanwhile, the Wild West was about to become pure entertainment. Buffalo Bill Cody,
I wonder what type of life they lived after that.
a former scout and buffalo hunter, turned frontier history into the biggest circus on earth. His Wild West shows packed stadiums from New York to London. Real cowboys performed rope tricks, actual Native American chiefs rode horses, Annie Oakley, a sharpshooter who could shoot better than any man, blasted playing cards in half with her shotgun. The irony was perfect. Just as the real Wild West died, Buffalo Bill was recreating it with fake cattle drives and pretend gunfights for cheering crowds. Meanwhile, the biggest land grab in American history was about to happen in a single day. The government had set aside Oklahoma Territory for Native Americans, but then decided to open 2 million acres for white settlers. April 22nd, 1889, the Oklahoma Land Run. 50,000 people lined up at the border like runners at a starting line. Families in wagons, men on horseback, women clutching papers, all waiting for the gunshot that would start the race.
When they fire that gun, we just run?
Yep, first person to stake a claim gets the land.
I can't sit still because my back hurts so much, guys. I know someone's gonna comment about it, like, why am I moving all the time? I'm trying to get comfortable, okay? Excuse me.
What if two people reach the same spot?
Hope you're faster.
That seems messy.
Welcome to America, partner. At exactly noon, soldiers fired their guns, and the thousands of people all ran as fast as they could in the greatest land stampede ever recorded. By sunset, entire towns existed where morning had shown empty prairie. Oklahoma City went from 0 to 10,000 residents in 6 hours. Guthrie had 15,000 people by nightfall. Check out the map. See how these cities just appear? The last territories were becoming states faster than map makers could keep up. Arizona and New Mexico joined America in 1912, and then the America we know today was complete. The Wild West sure was a crazy time, but it didn't fade away slowly. It got bulldozed by progress, then immediately turned into entertainment. Within just over 100 years, America had civilized its frontiers so completely that it had to hire actors to remind people what wildness used to look like. But did you know that once, a long time
Aren't there still places that you can visit that are like still like the Wild West inspired?
ago, America was genuinely terrified of a tiny little European country with windmills? It's another hell of a story. You can watch that video right here.
Right here. Well, that was interesting. I wonder if I was living in the Wild West, what I would be. Would I be a bank robber? I mean, maybe a train robber, or maybe I would. I don't know. Maybe I would be a cowboy, have a bunch of fluffy cows. Who knows? But thank you guys for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.